welcome to an edition of Sartorial Talks, the podcast and the YouTube channel. We're really happy you're with us today because today is that day when you can sense a little bit of autumn in the air after a long, hot summer. We're here from our house in Bourgogne, France, and Hugo, my wonderful husband's right here beside me. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, darling. How do you do?
Great. And today we're going to talk about something a little different than usual. Normally we talk about what to do in classic style, but today we're going to talk about mistakes in classic style.
Yeah, that's a good topic because we learn by mistakes. We all know that. But I must, before you start, darling, I must confess to everybody. First of all, we're happy it's not 100 Fahrenheit outside and not 45 Celsius. So we can be back in our double-breasted suits and we enjoy it so much. Both of us are chiffonelli bespoke today. We had Lorenzo Chiffonelli.
By chance.
Yes, just by chance. And the second thing is that we are going to talk about something. When I prepare, this is our technique. When I prepare a topic, she doesn't really know what I'm preparing. And when she prepares a topic, I know the global subject, but I have no clue about what she has as items on her list. So that's the spirit of Sartorial Talks. We want to have fresh, impromptu discussions on styles. And I must say that when she speaks about mistakes not to do, we don't have the pretension to teach people anything. Who are we to teach you how to present yourself to others? But if we add our years of experience, you and me in the field, we probably...
Maybe more than 20 years.
More than 20 years. So we may have one or two ideas to share with you.
That's true. Hugo really doesn't like the preachy talks.
No, I hate that.
He does not like the do's and don'ts. He's never like that.
No.
You know what? I don't really like it either, but I think it's fair to share our experience.
Yes.
And so let's see how it goes.
Yes.
You know, I think there's 11 of them, but the first one, and it doesn't count in the 11th, the first mistake, the biggest mistake, I think,
yes,
and we're going to get your opinion, in classic style is to be over-fussy, over-obsessive about how you look.
Okay. Well, could you define for us, because I'm not sure, I'm French, I want to make sure I understand the definition of fussy. Give us the idea, take an example of a man and explain to how he is fussy. And I will put a little bit of music because I'm sure it's going to be interesting.
Let's go. I'll use the example of Daniel Day-Lewis in the movie A Room with a View. It's a Merchant Ivory production.
It's in Florence, right? Italy.
It's based in Florence. Yes, that's the setting. And it's from the 80s. I don't know. I'm saying 85, somewhere around there. Okay. He plays the character of Cecil. And Cecil is a very fussy man. And by fussy, I mean when he gets ready, he will look his suit, he will look at his glasses, he'll see if he has any lint, maybe on his shoulder, he will see if maybe he's got a wrinkle on his shirt. If he does, he'll remove his shirt and have it re-ironed. He will check to see if there's a hair out of place, and he will go so far that it makes you uncomfortable to know that he's uncomfortable. And this is precisely what we want to avoid. Discomfort, the removal of joy from getting dressed. Because if you don't feel joy, it becomes what? A burden.
My take on this is that this guy has a lot of time. First of all, you have to be an aristocrat to be like that. And secondly, I guess he's a very rare person to be seen these days because most of people, they just jump in their sweatpants and on their flip-flops, take the T-shirt, the first on the pile and go outside. So more seriously, for the people who are classic style lovers like us, it is something that specifically at the beginning of your journey, we like to say sartorial journey because it is a journey. It is not a destination. When you start to enjoy the fact to dress well, to go bespoke if you have the money for that, or even going custom and try to understand what you wear, I must admit, and I can confess for myself, that at the beginning of this journey, sartorial journey, you can make mistakes. And one of the biggest mistakes is to overdo it a little bit.
That's true. And, when people decide they want to embrace classic style because they're buying less over time, and they just almost can automatically get dressed because they have their they have their shirts, they have their suits, they have their sweaters, they have their vests, they have everything just there, and you can really get ready fast when you're into classic style. But it's still a disease, even for us sometimes.
Yes, that's true.
We overly obsess. So what is the remedy? I think, personally, the remedy is to actually change your attitude, like have a higher latitude of attitude, if you will. And for me, I came to the conclusion that, what am I doing? I'm in classic style.
Yes.
All I want.
Actually, you look super good today,
Thank
darling.
you,
I must say. I mean, you look good every day, but
well,
specifically
so do you.
today.
Okay, well, but I'm not just saying that. But all we have to do is remember, we want to get things done.
Yes.
Right? And we want to be approachable. So I say this in my head. Today, okay, I'm dressed. I want to get things done and I want to be approachable. There's going to be some mistakes. Maybe my face broke out. Maybe I'm having a bad hair day. Maybe I have a little stain here. I can't do anything about it right now. Let it go. Be approachable. Feel approachability as part of who you are.
Yeah.
And this is my trick. What do you do when you're obsessing?
Well, I love what you just said. I think the key word about what you just said has been debated many times by Bruce Boyer and even by Baldassare Castiglione when he wrote the book of the courtier in, I think it's in the 1570s. It's about nonchalance. It's about the ability to feel okay with yourself and to feel comfortable. So, but once again, let's not condemn people. Okay, me, let's take my example. When I take a subject, and that's my personality, I want to know everything about the subject. So when I started to learn classic style 15 years ago, I wanted to know everything about the colors, about the shirt colors, about the tie knots, about the different kind of double-breasted vest and everything. And I had a tendency to overdo it and putting like 2 or 3 accessories, a tie bar and a tie pin and, too many things, and an handkerchief and so many things. So, but sometimes it can come from a good intention also. That is to say, it's not only you embrace this by passion. The remedy to that is to be comfortable. And that's maybe the first time you will hear Mr. Jacomet saying, be comfortable. Because
so focus on comfort.
Well, I mean, you can be stylish while being comfortable. And when you reach that difficult balance to be I'm very comfortable right now.
So you ask yourself, am I comfortable?
Yes.
And I like that. And maybe I'll use that too. I like that.
And comfortable with yourself. It's also a kind of a self-confidence. I don't want to, in France we say, to try to push open doors. We're not talking about self-confidence, but it has to do probably with self-acceptance, because when you overdo it, when you are fussy, this is the word in English,
when you're worried
it means
about every detail.
Exactly, it means you're not sure of yourself.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then you doubt.
And you got to be okay with not being perfect.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, my hair are a little bit long these days, but it's okay. Let's go to the...
So let's go. Yeah. Let's hit the subjects that are easy to approach. This was more esoteric. First mistake, stubby collar, stubby shirt collar. The tiny little collars where they create a big gap from here to here. Yeah. This is my pet peeve. This is something that you'll see in high fashion brands.
Incredible.
And you don't understand how they miss that because, come on, if you have a nice collar that has a length, you're not going to have a gap here, and you're going to have a flow of the silhouette. I'm wearing my collar out. Look at Hugo's collar.
Well, you should have told me before, because if I knew there was your point number 2, I would have put another color. But this is a specific case.
This is when you glue it to your shirt.
Yes.
If your collar is smaller, you're not really gluing it to your shirt. But explain.
Well, this one is, if you look at the video, this one has an hidden button. So it allows me to have a small collar, but stick to the shirt.
Exactly.
But also it's a round club collar, English collar. But the rule of the thumb, and you will experiment it for yourself, is that when you choose a color for your suit, make sure that the point of your collar goes slightly under your lapel. But when you look at all these advertisements now with this not little, I don't even know the word. This is miniature colors with the tie. The tie knot sometimes is almost as big as the color. It is ridiculous.
And women who wear ties, they make this mistake all the time. They don't know.
Yeah, but it attracts your attention to something which people don't understand, is that elegance and men's styles and anything around tailoring, it's all about proportions.
Yes.
And when you have these small colors, I've seen them. Yesterday I was looking at TV, and I was looking at these journalists. They supposedly well dressed on the channel where they still wear a tie and a suit, but they have these tiny colors.
And they're not sticking at all.
No,
they're flying away almost.
no.
Yeah,
And even there's a big brand. I'm sorry, start with my name, Hugo, and then it's continue with a B, Hugo B. They feature this in their advertisements.
A few years ago, I don't know if they still do.
Well,
this, maybe
it's shocking almost how they like sartorial culture to feature stuff like that. But, maybe we are becoming old and we prefer old-style fashion.
Day one, we've always seen the break in the silhouette with the short cut.
I agree with you on this one.
Something super easy that probably every show you've seen, this is the mistake, but you cannot not say it. Short socks.
Oh, yeah, but this is not negotiable.
No,
I mean, it's just a matter of good sense. When you cross your legs, whatever you are, and you show half of your calf, and then, thank God I don't have too much hair on my calves, but when all of a sudden you see this beautifully dressed man who has a lot of charisma, but all of a sudden you see the hair on his calf, the image is totally broken.
Yeah,
no short socks.
Yeah,
it's just not negotiable. I mean, in America, they like it over the calf. Us in Europe, we even go as far as to the knee directly. This is a tradition, but honestly, short socks is to be banned, and that's probably one of the only things which is non-negotiable for me.
Truly, and this is not a sponsorship because we're not paid to say this, but you usually go to either Mes Chaussettes Rouges or...
we got some good people. Mes Chaussettes Rouges, myredsocks.com. Fantastic people. Jacques et Vincent, we know them since they're born. And we like also Massimiliano Bracciani is in Italy. I think he's distributed by Mes Chaussettes Rouges. Mes Chaussettes Rouges, it's a very interesting shop. Once again, no sponsoring, it's just our friends. They decided one day because, it's a funny story. In the Vatican, in Rome, there's a tradition. You have the tailor of the Pope and of the clergy, you say clergy, is called Gamarelli. And they produce, the robes for the cardinals and all the dignitaries of the Catholic Church in Rome. And the tradition is that the priests are wearing black socks, that the cardinals are very high in the hierarchy are wearing purple socks, and only the Pope has the right to wear red socks. And those two young men had this brilliant idea to say, what if we go to this maker, Gamarelli, in Rome, and ask him if we have the right to distribute red socks. That is to say, the socks of the Pope, made by the maker that actually makes the socks for the Pope. And it became...
They said yes.
Yes, and it's a worldwide success. Crazy. And now I think it's one of the biggest online shop for socks in the world. It's called meschaussettesrouges.com. I think it's myredsocks.com in English, but I'm not sure. You can check for that. And that's huge selections of socks of different...
I can't help but say they have this crazy Willy Wonka sock machine. That they're making socks there on. Oh,
yeah. This is the only place in the world that you can.
So if you're in Paris,
it's called bespoke socks. You can choose your pattern, and they knit the socks in front of you. This is crazy.
And they're long enough.
Yeah. Nice people, honestly. Nice young entrepreneurs.
What I'm doing, moving on, is I'm mixing up the simple things with the more complex things.
Yes.
The next thing that's a huge mistake is when men and women with suits raise the notch very high so they look taller.
Yeah.
What happens? They suddenly have wings to fly, and it's really strange. And I don't think they understand that when you raise a notch, your lapel should not come up so high that you have little wings. So, you did this a few times.
Yeah, I did this. I had my years, let's say, about that. But, you are mixing very basic thing with very advanced. This is kind of an advanced.
We're not just talking to beginners, and we're not just talking to gurus. We're talking to different people. Okay, so the rule
Sonya is explaining here is that there's a rule. When you are a short man or short woman, the notch is this part. So if you are on YouTube, I show you. The notch is this part. This is where the part of your lapel is breaking into two parts. Yeah. And so the rule is that when you are short, raise this notch as high as you can on the shoulder so that it will stretch your silhouette. The problem is that applying this rule has been some people, and me included, I must admit, have been, because I'm not very tall, I'm 1.79 meters, I don't know how it translates, 5 foot?
A little over 5'10".
I still have a lot of problem with the feet and the
so
imperial system. Yeah, so I'm 5'10", so I wanted to raise, and it works very well. But sometimes I went a little bit far, and I've with my notch very high on the shoulder, and that's becoming ridiculous because the point of my pick lapel will literally go above my shoulder, and I look like Batman all of a sudden.
You can fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, okay.
So I confess I did it, but now I'm becoming more wise.
You are. So next, this is a simple one.
Do we say more wise or wiser?
Either one.
Oh, wow. My English is improving.
So next, let's go to a simple one.
Yes.
Okay. Remember when 7 or 8 years ago, everyone in classic style was saying, fit is everything. It's got to fit. Your suit's got to fit. It's all about fit. Okay. We took it so far that some men started wearing superhero tight suits. It almost looked like they were wearing wrestling uniform onesies.
Yeah.
So this is a no. It has to fit, but don't look like a superhero.
I agree. Well, I must confess, once again, I've been quite far on this road. The problem with this is that when you are going too tight with your feet, that is to say, really, really hyper-fitted, well, if you just eat one tranche of rillettes, for example, in France, or one piece of camembert, this is what we love, or you have one pizza in America, or you have a good bottle of wine with some, good fat pot-au-feu, that we love to eat, all of a sudden your suit start to be
unwearable.
Unwearable. So, yeah, and on top of that, I think that now more and more, I hate to say the trend. But the sensibility of the time is to be more comfortable now, and to be more we call it more drape.
Yeah, that's right.
More. So yes, don't be overfitted, but dress according to your size, because don't go the other extreme, which is
like you're wearing your big grandfather's suit,
exactly,
and it's obvious something's wrong.
Now, once again, I think as being reasonable, balance is everything.
Exactly. Okay,
but I don't dislike being a superhero from time to time. I'm just kidding.
So now we're going back to a more sophisticated point. Mistake. Remember, we're talking about classic style.
Can I put a little bit of music behind?
Go ahead. Okay.
Oh, I love
Let's
it when
do a
you
nuance
put
with this
a little nuance. Okay.
You don't know what I'm going to say, so right now I'm going to talk about...
I like because when I put music, she changed her voice a little bit.
I'm going to talk about something that every man and woman in classic style should know. It's a term called button stance. Sounds fancy. It's very simple. It simply means where your working button on your jacket is positioned. The men's style, even women's style mistake I see so often that people aren't even aware of is the button stance is placed so high.
Too high.
It almost merges with the nipples on the chest. It almost looks like a muumuu if it were a dress. If you guys don't know what a muumuu is.
No, what is a muumuu?
It's like when you have a lot of weight on you.
Yeah.
Your waist can come all the way up to here, and then it's just free-flowing fabric.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that button stance, where you button your jacket should be located somewhere around your navel, or where your navel may actually exist when you come out of your mother. Where your navel may actually exist on your body.
Yeah.
Make sure the button stance is somewhere around there.
It can be a little bit above your navel. You don't have to be because the navel can be different parts depending on your body proportions.
Do you know? Have you seen men? They have a really long torso and little short legs?
Yes.
Okay, so if they raise that button, that working button, up pretty far above their navel, it can really balance their entire body.
Yeah.
So this is my men's style mistake that I see very often. You can
specifically in people who are trying to dress with some kind of let's face it, a real tailor will never make this mistake. a bespoke tailor who really knows what he's doing and understands the proportion. But if you go to a custom salon, sometimes they work with blocks that are pre-prepared, and sometimes they miss this fundamental point. Where do you put your buttoning button, the button stand, the working button? That is, you understand that when you have, I'm double-breasted here today, but if you have a single-breasted, let's say two-button jacket, you only use the top one. You never button the last one. And this is the working button. And you have to be careful because she's right. Some people looking to be as stylish as possible, they raise it so high that it looks kind of ridiculous. So button stance is a very underrated element and mostly overlooked by many, many so-called professionals. Yes. And even in ready-to-wear, this is the first time, just use your eyes and you will see if proportionally it is good or not.
And I need to make a call out to some of our experts who are listening today.
Yes.
Because I have noticed, and believe me, I've looked at thousands of pictures of men and women in classic style outfits. And what I want some of you out there who really know the trade to comment on is the double-breasted button stance. Because even some of the best tailors out there, I've noticed with the double-breasted suit, will put the working button very high. So it's a call out for you gurus out there to make a comment in the comments section.
Yeah. I agree with you. But at the same time, I agree with you. Actually, I love, my favorite double-breasted is the Chiffonelli 6-on-1 because it's a real 6-on-1. And the line of buttoning is a little bit higher, but it's a 6-on-1. It's fantastic.
You do have a summer suit from Naples with a very high
double-breasted. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree. This is more for advanced people who already understand what it is, a buttoning. But yes, you're right. You have to be careful not to go too high with even on a 6-on-2. 6-on-2, for the people who don't know this, is 6 button with 2 who are functioning. Exactly. And then 6-on-1 is the same thing, but only 1 is functioning.
Excellent. Now let's go to something very simple.
Yes.
We're going sophisticated, simple. We want to reach everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, shoes that need attention. This is a huge style mistake. You're the best. You are always taking care of your shoes. And sometimes I'm don't do as good of a job as well as you do.
You mean you?
So, yeah. And so
That's right.
I'm asking you to help me out a little bit. But when you go out and your shoes are worn out, all that effort, and then you're wearing worn out shoes that need attention, you've just basically lost your time.
Well, this is like the short socks. It's non-negotiable. You just don't go outside if you don't have decent shoes.
So share your polishing secret because you do it in 3
I don't.
minutes.
I'm not a polishing expert at all. I'm not.
But
No,
you do
I'm
it
not.
in 3 minutes. You use the Sapphire Moisture Cream.
Yeah, but I should really, you have to go to see some, like the Shoe Snob blog, for example, or some Kirby Allison YouTube is doing lessons on that. He's doing some Sunday shoe shining. They are experts. Yes. Me, I'm just a renegade on that. I do something very fast. I'm using the fabulous products from Saphir. Once again, no advertisement here, but it's a French company. We need to support our local producers. Saphir is a fantastic brand. Saphir, Sapphir.
And you're using a lot of moisturizing lotion.
Yeah, it's called the Crème Universelle, Universal Cream. And this is a cream which is very interesting because it has a tendency to remove all the former accumulations of wax, of creams. And but normally when I'm really in a hurry, I just put a little bit of crème universelle and I just let my shoe dry for 1 or 2 minutes, and then I brush it.
You're putting your whole body into
it. You brush it with a shining brush, and then I go outside. But look at the Shoe Snob. Look at Kirby Allison. You're gonna find this is non-negotiable. Your shoes have to be impeccable. You see, you notice the rhyme? This is non-negotiable. Your shoes has to be impeccable.
Very good. Very good.
I should have become a poet. I don't know, maybe.
You sort of are. Okay, now let's go to a little more technical one, but everybody needs to know this. Men's style, women's style mistake, giant armholes in the jacket. Huge mistake.
Yeah. You speak in the microphone, darling, because you say huge mistake is so far from the microphone.
I know, because I'm so moved by this point. Make sure the armholes, when you try on a jacket or commission one, are not too big. Because what happens, Hugo, when the armholes are too big?
Well, it's easy to understand. I mean, it's one of the basic of men's style, and I mean, basic, but you have to it's easy to understand. It's mainly in ready to wear. You have to check. This is probably one of the first things you have to check, is the height of the hole. Okay, I'm dressing bespoke today like Sonya, so we have chiffonelli. So the armhole is extremely high, and so it means it's a small armhole. The armhole, this is where the position where the sleeve is attached to the suit. So this one is extremely high, probably amongst the highest in the market, in the world.
So move your
yes,
arms.
And so when you move you have a small armhole, which is very high. You move your arm, and you see my suit doesn't move. Now, if I do the same with a big armhole that is coming very, very low, when I do this, my suit will do this with me. Okay?
Yes.
So I've seen so many people giving lectures on stage.
Oh, exactly.
And then when they raise their hands like that, maybe they're preachers, or maybe they are doing a lecture, they're very passionate, they can be even extremely entertaining.
Even
and all of a sudden,
politicians.
And when they do this, you see the whole suit doing that.
The whole jacket comes up over the head.
Yeah, and this is ridiculous. So that's easy, my friends, to notice. A high armhole or a small sleeve head is the same thing, can make a huge difference just because you are. And on top of that, people have a false belief that it's the same when they are dressing too big. Dress with your size, but when you have a bigger armhole, you feel more comfortable. But in fact, this is not true. When you have a small armhole, you feel a little bit more structured in your, in your allure, in your stance, but you have more freedom of movement.
You tend to stand up straighter, you command the room more, and I think we made the point.
As Lorenzo Chiffonelli said at this microphone a few weeks ago, he said, this is a paradox. Bespoke tailoring, you can have a jacket where an artisan will have been working 80 hours, putting so much work on it, so much fittings and everything, and then the ultimate goal is that you forget your jacket because you're so comfortable in it. Honestly, I don't feel I'm wearing a suit right now. It's so comfortable.
It's insane, because the range of movement.
Exactly.
So easy.
High armhole, very important.
Next one.
Yes.
Simple one. We're going sophisticated, simple. Simple one. We're not going to keep saying don't match your tie with your pocket square because we said it so many times. So what about the cheap, tacky tie? Someone's getting ready. They're just in classic style. They're looking for a tie. There's a tie drawer that's been there probably for years. So they just go and pull out a tie. They have a wedding, or maybe they're going somewhere, and they just put it on, and this cheap tie ruins everything. What are the standards for a tie in your opinion?
I would say go for, this is open your eyes, first of all, and also train your hand. The thing for a tie is that you have the ability to touch. You can immediately touch. Avoid by all means all this kind of polyester, or this kind of fake. Go for silk or for a blend of wool and silk. But silk is the king. It's the queen. I don't know if it's a man or a woman in English, because in French, silk is a woman. But silk is the king of the fabrics for a tie. Second thing, I would say that let's be straight. A beautiful tie under €50 or $50 is suspicious, because the price of the raw material is so important.
Unless you're buying vintage, of course.
Yeah, of course. And you can find, on eBay or whatever, some vintage. That's another subject. But I mean, for a new tie, around 40, 50 euros, don't be greedy on that, because I've seen people buying extravagantly expensive garments and just be a little bit cheap on the tie. This is not right. But there's something very important, is that never buy a tie because you find it lovely on the rack. And that's another I can add to your mistake, because that's a mistake I made. Sometimes I look at the tie on the rack and I said, oh my gosh, that's a wonderful tie. And then I buy it. and then stupid enough, it's impossible to wear it because it goes with nothing. And then on the reverse, you see a tie and say, what? Is there somebody in the world who's buying that piece of crap? This is really bizarre. You know, with some weird patterns and colors.
Right?
Exactly. And you put it on.
Guess what? It works.
And it works.
And Dan from Dan Kostic from Urban Ties.
Yes.
Sometimes we say Dan. I don't know how you know.
His name is Dan Kostic. He's from Romania.
We say, send us some ties because your curation skills freak us out. They're so good. So he will pick 5 ties.
Yeah.
We don't know what he's going to send us.
That's right.
It's like getting a stylist or something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, what is this? This is so strange. But then you end up wearing the tie a lot.
This one is from Nicola Radano. For the people who are looking on YouTube, this is a beautiful 3-fold tie, but this is a real artisanal tie because you can see inside. I don't know if I can see. Look at the camera. You can see. You can see the.
Look at that.
Look, the interlining. So you can see this is handmade tie, you know. So it's not finished, and it's beautiful. This is silk. Look, this is quality. This is not expensive. I think it's around 60 or 70 euros.
This is from Japan.
This is fantastic. I love. This is from Kenji Kaga.
Yes.
Kenji Kaga is our friend. I think he has. The company is called Sevenfold or Tie Your Tie Florence.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Again, these aren't sponsors at all.
No, because you are wearing Tie Your Tie Japan. I'm wearing Nicola Radano Spaca Neapolis. We spoke about the urban tie, our friend Dan Kostic in Romania.
Curator.
There's also Howard's in Paris who's doing magnificent ties. Our friend Frédéric Costa. Hello, Frédéric. There's many good people in this. Calabrese, of course, in Naples. Francesco, Annalisa. Hello, Annalisa. Petronius in Milano. Extraordinary people. It's interesting because everybody say the Thai market is plunging, it's over, and we have these fantastic creators and a beautiful tie.
Artisans.
Yes,
truly.
and a beautiful tie can change your life. I'm becoming very dramatic, but it's true.
Let's move to sophisticated.
Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of music maybe for the sophisticated.
Yes, this is not very sophisticated what I'm going to say, but leave the music anyway. So you go to lunch with a group of people. And it's a classic style lunch. And suddenly, when everyone sits down, you notice a few people at the table have jackets which tend to start climbing up over the top of their heads. And you can't stop looking at the back of their jackets because it's eating their head. And it's a very strange thing to see. And this is a style mistake, I would say. And you know what you can do to prevent it?
No.
Remember the term sitting fitting?
Yes.
Whenever you buy a jacket, whenever you get one from a tailor,
of course,
you sit down to check your jacket. And if you see the back of the jacket coming up over your head, obviously there is an error in the way that's been crafted.
Ladies and gentlemen, my wife is a style encyclopedia. She's a style guru. I agree with you. This is the reverse of the color gap. This is the other problem, that when you have too much fabric on the back, and this is where bespoke tailoring is so good because you avoid this. This is the first thing a good tailor will look is if you don't have too much fabric. Look, this is a chiffonelli bespoke. It's perfect. It's sticking to my color, and even when I'm sitting, it doesn't overwhelm me. I've seen politicians in some TV debates literally being eaten
when they sit down.
By their suit, and it's unbelievable how there's nobody on the set to tell them, hey man, your suit is eating you. You know, just this is not the suit who is wearing you. Is you are wearing the suit normally, and this is something. So be very careful, and even in ready to wear, make sure you don't have an excess of fabric in the back.
Just sit down and look in the mirror.
Yes.
It's not complicated.
And she's right. The solution is what we call a sitting fitting. And even if you are at a bespoke tailor, ask him to do a sitting fitting to see if your jacket really stays in the same place when you are seated.
I have to ask you to do the collar gap talk for me, because that is the other huge mistake when you don't look for a collar gap.
Well,
and you buy a jacket, and then you've made a huge mistake and wasted a lot of money. Explain the color gap, please.
Well, I mean, this is a drama. Oh, I was about to put music, but well, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, let's be serious. We're going to speak about drama. We speak about men's style. Nothing is catastrophic here. There's much more important subject in the world, but still, it is important when you really take this path seriously. It can pay great dividends in your life. Okay, now color gap.
You're investing.
Exactly. So color gap. What is a color gap? And I say it's a drama. It's probably the drama of men's style all over the world. Even among the most famous brands, I've seen color gaps all around the place, everywhere, even on advertisement. You say, come on, how can this brand, they put millions on an advertisement, they have stylists and designers and so-called tailors and models that cost hundreds of thousands, and you see a guy with a gap.
You have to raise your hair.
I have to raise my hair, with this color, with a gap between the shirt color and the show it with yours.
Okay,
you can't really, it's like that, There's a space between the color of the jacket and your color of the shirt. No color gap, that means like this, it has to stick. And this is open. Well, I mean, you're going to be obsessed. I'm sorry for you. They get obsessed. But you're going to see color gaps all the time.
And I bet if you don't know, you're going to go to your closet and start putting on jackets and looking to see if you have one. That's what I do.
Yes. But it's a sign also of recognition when you see people without a color gap. It's a code. When you look at somebody who has no color gap, you can immediately say, this guy is sartorially advanced. He knows. He's in the know. Well, even the politician, even the president of my country, he has color gaps. Even the president of the United States, he has color gaps. Even the candidates of the presidency, they have color gaps. Can somebody say to these people, please stop wearing suits with color gaps? Now you can go and buy a ready-to-wear suit or a second-hand suit, having altered by a tailor for a few $100s and have no color gap. And this is, for us, this is the absolute drama of men's style. And please, I would love to see less color gaps. This is so important for your elegance. It changed everything.
Exactly. So, let's move to an easy one.
Cheers.
I'll have a drink of water as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, normally we should not drink together at the same time. This is what we do, but we are at home.
It's impromptu. Yeah. So, let's go to an easy one.
Next time we're going to put wine.
I bet you, I don't know how many shows you're watching on YouTube, but I wonder if you've heard this one. Okay, one of my top noticeable men's style, women's style mistakes is with what I call the clashing belt. Okay, you know what a clashing belt is? Mm-hmm. It's a belt that doesn't go well with your shirt or with your trousers. I'm talking
or with your shoes.
Well,
if you wear
I don't believe that. People say, match your belt with your shoes. I'm saying, no. Match your belt either with your shirt, if you're wearing a darker shirt. Of course, you're not going to have a white belt. It would be ridiculous. Or with your trousers. Say you're wearing gray trousers, have a dark gray belt. What does this do? Why would you do that? Well, if you don't, you're going to have a tri-color show in the middle of your body. So you have, say, a white shirt, you have a red belt, and you have gray trousers. You're going to see a big line going horizontally across the body, which cuts the silhouette in half. Mm-hmm. Use some discretion when you use a belt. I see that as one of the main style mistakes in destroying a silhouette.
I have nothing to add because, darling, I'm not wearing belts.
You don't wear belts?
I never wear belts. It's just because...
What do you do instead?
Well, it's just because, first of all, I don't wear belts because, as you just said, I have the... Maybe it's a belief, but I think I can say my eye is quite trained now. And I really, really believe that it cuts the silhouette in two. And specifically when it's contrasted, and just what you explained, it puts some kind of a horizontal line, in the middle of your body. But on the other hand, I can understand that some people love belts.
I saw a beautiful example recently. Someone had a black sweater on underneath a suit, and they had a black belt.
Yes.
And then gray trousers, that was really nice.
Yes.
Because it all blended and flowed.
Yeah. When you say don't match your belt with your shoes, well, I said yes and no, because at the same time, don't put, it's easy to understand, open your eyes. If you have brown shoes, don't put a black belt, because they will, of course.
Unless you have a black shirt.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I'm not a professional on that.
I mean, everyone's heard that all their lives, but I don't think it's a die-hard rule.
Well, the only belt I've been wearing in my life was when we have this young Florian Sirvin, who used to be the head of the Francesco Smalto atelier, and he took this from Francesco Smalto himself when he was still alive. Francesco Smalto was making the belt with the same fabric as the pants, so that if people wanted to wear a belt, the belt was literally fading with the trousers, and it was the best effect. But once again, I am not a professional of that, because I prefer side adjusters. You know, the little things you have with a loop on the side of your pants. And I start to prefer suspenders because, I mean, I love them because it's fun. It makes you feel really maintained. Yes. And you feel good. It's not, you know, well, and on top of that, why I like suspenders is that when you remove your jacket, yes, ladies and gentlemen, it happens to Hugo Jacome to remove his jacket because sometimes it's too hot. By the way, I recorded a talk show with Stefan Jimenez, one of the best bootmakers and shoemakers in the world, and I was in my shirt because it was 110 outside, so I couldn't stand a jacket. But still, it's interesting because when you remove your jacket, suspenders create some kind of a cool effect on your outfit generally. So my wife, she's I'm a little bit unsettled now because she put her paper down. So does it mean?
Because we're going to move to the last point, and then in a future episode we'll talk about what other people call style mistakes, but we don't consider them to be mistakes. So last one.
Yes.
Is too many accessories.
Yeah.
And how many times have we held events and people come with, I don't know, 8 or 9 accessories into their suit?
Yeah.
And this is a really common style mistake. It's our final point.
Yes.
It's so simple to correct because you're just removing accessories. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to say on this?
Well, in France, we call this Christmas tree.
Yeah,
when somebody has too many accessories, say, you look like a Christmas tree. Yes. Well, once again, it can be mistakes of the young people who really want to...
Give it their best effort.
Well, yes. I mean, it's fun to have a tie pin and a tie bar and a handkerchief and a pocket square and a hat.
Yes.
But sometimes, you'll see that the more... I think this rule is maybe applied to many things in life. I think the more you age, the more you become more experienced. And I don't want to say that experience is everything. I mean, the youth can be a really interesting and
somehow
taking
natural flair.
Yeah,
you don't know where it comes from.
Taking risks, and taking chances and even mixing things. And even me, I'm very sometimes surprised, when those people can break the rules and still make it. But the rule of thumb is that, now you will, if you reach a certain level in your sartorial journey, don't look at what you can add when you go outside the door, look what you can remove. And, if you only have a pair of pants, don't remove your pants, of course. But if you have 2 or 3 accessories, I would say rule of thumb, 2 accessories is more than sufficient.
If they're discreet, maybe 3, but
maybe 3. Look at what we are wearing, for example, today. You have this beautiful lapel pin and this beautiful neckwear.
I guess this maybe almost the glasses.
Oh, but the glasses, baby, you need them to read your paper and to have your notes, so it's okay.
Debatable, is it?
And me, I have just a pocket square.
And a tie.
And that's it.
That's it, yes.
Nothing else. So,
right.
sometime I would have, a few years ago, I would have had a lapel jewelry and a tie bar and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's...
It's just, we don't want to go in this kind of stupid less is more and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I think that try to think. It's all about balance. It's all about, and once again, you have to be happy with yourself. After all, if you prefer to be over-accessorized, do it. It's just classic style must remain the
dandy,
pleasure.
For example,
Yeah.
that's sort of the trademark of a dandy. So you can't go that far.
Yeah.
This rounds out our points of the main classic style mistakes.
Yes.
The next episode I'd like to do is to address what other people say are mistakes, but we don't think they're so bad.
Give me one or two examples to just give me a flavor of what you want to speak about.
For example, short tie versus long tie.
Short tie versus long tie, yeah.
Some people say that tie has to fall right in the middle of the belt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a teaser. We save this for another episode.
And another example, for example.
You won't stop.
Yeah, just because I'm excited about that. For example, I have one. I was one of the guys who said, never have your loafers sockless, without the socks. Okay. And when it's 104 outside, I enjoyed wearing some sockless. But that's another story. I learned Latin for a couple of years when I was young, and I remember that there's a few formulas I remembered. Yes. That everything we just said, except the short socks, except the collar gap, and except maybe, I don't remember one of the items that are non-negotiable, but for the rest, specifically, don't go too far into rules. For example, the rules about patterns, the rule about, don't mix the check with the stripes, don't do this, don't do that. I'm not a big fan of do and don'ts because I like, and I have to take my paper, I like this. You said a Latin locution, you say that? A Latin locution is called exceptio probat regulam in casibus non exceptis. I do it again. Exceptio probat regulam in casibus non exceptis means in French, l'exception qui confirme la règle, and in English, exception that proves the rule. That in many things, in men's style, like in many subjects in life, sometimes you have to break the rules. And so many people said, like for example, no brown in town. This is ridiculous because people say, you don't have to wear brown shoes in town after 6 o'clock. Why? Because they're referring to an era where the gentlemen had a farm and were coming in town only at night. So it's another era where the aristocrats were having this rule. But it doesn't apply to us. I'm sorry, I don't have a farm and I don't go to hunting during the day and I don't change 3 times, even if I change sometimes 2 times, but I don't change 3 or 4 times like in downtown Abbey. Right. This was from this era. So be careful with all these rules and don't go too much in the do and don'ts because the first rule in classic style is take pleasure. This has to remain...
This is the beginning of the talk.
Yes.
It has to be a joy.
A joy. It's a pleasure. Enjoy yourself. Take your risks. Make your mistakes. And don't listen too much to all the preachers who are telling you what to do and not to do.
Amen.
Oh, thank you, darling. So you did the introduction. I'm going to do the conclusion. We give you another appointment to the next episode. You have to look at the middle camera, darling.
Yes, I am.
We give you an appointment to the next episode of Sartorial Talks, the podcast, and the YouTube channel. And for now, everybody, cheers.